Chioma, a bright and hopeful young girl from Enugu, dreams of celebrating her 18th birthday in Zanzibar. But her wicked stepmother, Adaeze, and jealous stepsister, Amara, have other plans. They burn her passport, hoping to crush her dreams. With her loving father, Odinakachukwu, by her side, Chioma embarks on a suspenseful race against time to secure an emergency travel document. This powerful story of resilience, betrayal, and a father's unyielding love will leave you inspired and deeply moved. Will Chioma's dream take flight, or will betrayal triumph? Watch this unforgettable African folktale unfold. The sun peeked through the thin curtains of Chioma's small room in Enugu, painting golden stripes on the faded walls. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. Her father, Odinakachukwu, had planned a surprise trip for her 18th birthday to Zanzibar, a place she had only seen in magazines. The turquoise water, the white sandy beaches, and the bright smiles of people walking through colorful markets. It all felt like a dream come true. Chioma jumped out of bed, her heart dancing with excitement. She could hear her father humming in the kitchen as the smell of fried plantains filled the air. Chioma loved her father deeply. Since her mother passed away when she was little, he had been both father and mother to her. "Chioma!" her father's warm voice called out. "Breakfast is ready." She quickly changed into her favorite yellow dress and dashed into the kitchen. Her father stood by the stove, flipping golden brown plantains in a pan. "Good morning, Papa," Chioma said, hugging him from behind. "Good morning, my angel," Odinakachukwu said, turning to kiss her forehead. "Are you ready for your big adventure?" "Yes, Papa," Chioma's face lit up. "I can't believe we are actually going to Zanzibar." But as Chioma sat down at the small wooden table, her excitement was interrupted by two familiar voices entering the kitchen: her stepmother Adaeze and stepsister Amara. Adaeze was a tall, stern woman with sharp features and cold eyes. Amara, only a year older than Chioma, had the same sharpness in her gaze. They both stood at the doorway, their arms crossed. "So it's true," Adaeze said, and her voice dripping with bitterness. "You are really taking her on a trip, Odinakachukwu?" "Yes, Adaeze," Odinakachukwu said calmly. "It's her birthday gift. She deserves it." Amara rolled her eyes. "What about me, Papa? Don't I deserve nice things too?" Odinakachukwu sighed. "Amara, you've had your own turn. This trip is for Chioma." Adaeze's lips pressed into a thin line as she turned and walked away, Amara following closely behind. Chioma tried to ignore them and focus on her breakfast, but a strange feeling gnawed at her stomach. After breakfast, Chioma went back to her room to pack her small suitcase. She carefully placed her clothes, a pair of sandals, and her travel documents, including her passport, on the table. She couldn't stop smiling as she folded each dress. But outside her window, Chioma noticed Amara watching her. Their eyes met for a brief moment before Amara turned and disappeared into the hallway. Shrugging it off, Chioma continued packing. She carefully placed her passport on top of her clothes and zipped the suitcase shut. That evening, as the sky turned orange and the sun began to set over Enugu, Chioma's father called her into the living room. "Chioma, do you have everything packed?" he asked. "Yes, Papa," Chioma said confidently. "Good. We will leave early tomorrow morning. Now go get some rest." Chioma nodded and returned to her room. But as she opened her suitcase one last time to double check, her heart froze. Her passport was missing. Panic set in instantly. She flipped through her clothes, searched the drawers, checked under her bed, and even looked inside her school bag. But it was gone. "Papa!" she cried out, running into the living room. "My passport is gone!" Odinakachukwu jumped up from his chair. "What do you mean it's gone? You kept it in your suitcase, didn't you?" "Yes, Papa, I did." Chioma's voice trembled with fear. Adaeze and Amara appeared in the doorway, both looking far too calm for the chaos unfolding. Maybe she misplaced it, Adaeze said casually. Chioma shook her head. No, I didn't. It was right there. But then something caught Chioma's eyes. A faint black smudge on Amara's fingers. Her stomach twisted. You took it, she said, pointing at Amara. Amara's eyes widened, but Adaeze stepped forward. Enough, Chioma. Don't you dare accuse your sister of something so foolish. Odinakachukwu raised his hand, silencing everyone. His voice was low but firm. Enough! Everyone, go to your rooms. We will settle this in the morning. But Chioma couldn't sleep. The thought of her missing passport kept her awake. The clock ticked loudly in the dark, each second feeling heavier than the last. At midnight, Chioma heard whispers outside her window. Carefully, she peeked through the curtains. In the backyard, under the faint moonlight, she saw them, Adaeze and Amara. In Adaeze's hand was a small stack of papers. The glow from the matchstick flickered, and suddenly, Chioma realized what was happening. They were burning her passport. No! Chioma gasped, running outside. But it was too late. The flames had already consumed the booklet, turning it into ashes that scattered in the wind. Chioma fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Why? Why would you do this? Adaeze's face was cold and unbothered. You don't deserve to go, Chioma. You don't deserve anything. Amara smiled as she tossed the remaining ashes into the wind. The next morning, Odinakachukwu stood in the backyard, his face pale and his shoulders slumped. Chioma stood beside him, her eyes still red from crying. I will fix this, Chioma, Odinakachukwu said, his voice firm but filled with sadness. Papa, how? Chioma asked softly. We need a passport to travel. But Odinakachukwu placed a hand on her shoulders. I have a friend. He works at the immigration office. We'll find a way. Adaeze and Amara watched from the doorway, their small faces barely hiding their satisfaction. Odinakachukwu turned to them, his voice sharp and full of authority. You will answer for this when we return. Mark my words. He took Chioma's hand and together they walked out of the gate inside the bright Enugu morning, with hope flickering in their hearts despite the ashes left behind. The sun was already high in the sky as Chioma and her father, Odinakachukwu, made their way to the immigration office in Enugu. The streets buzzed with life. Street vendors shouted about their fresh fruits, motorbikes waved through traffic, and school children laughed as they walked in groups. But Chioma couldn't enjoy any of it. Her heart felt heavy and her feet dragged with every step. Papa, do you think your friend can help us? Chioma asked, her voice trembling. Odinakachukwu glanced down at his daughter and squeezed her hand. I believe he can, Chioma, but we must have faith and patience. They reached the immigration office, a large pale yellow building with a Nigerian flag fluttering at the entrance. A tall man in a neatly pressed uniform stood by the gate. His name tag read Officer Chijioke. Good morning, sir, Odinakachukwu said, bowing his head slightly. Morning, Musa, Chijioke said with a serious face. Is this your daughter? Yes, this is Chioma. Please, we need your help. Her passport was destroyed. Odinakachukwu's voice caught on the last word. Officer Chijioke raised an eyebrow. Destroyed? How? It's a long story, Odinakachukwu replied, but please, can you help us? Her flight is tomorrow morning. Chijioke sighed, then gestured for them to follow him. Inside the building, they walked through narrow hallways filled with people holding papers and waiting for their turn. They entered a small office where Officer Chijioke sat behind a wooden desk cluttered with files and stamps. Listen carefully, he said. Normally, replacing a passport takes weeks, sometimes even months. But because I know you, Musa, I will try my best to issue an emergency travel document for Chioma. Chioma's heart leapt with hope. Thank you, sir. she said softly. But Chijioke continued. It's not going to be easy. You will need to fill out forms, provide identification, and we must get it approved by the regional director. And all this must be done by the end of today. Odinakachukwu nodded. We will do whatever it takes. Chijioke handed them a thick sack of papers. Start filling these forms. Be quick. For hours, Chioma and her father sat in a corner of the immigration office, filling out endless forms. Chioma's hand ached from writing her name, date of birth, and other details over and over again. Her father looked exhausted, sweat dripping from his forehead, despite the office fan spinning above them. When they finally finished, they handed the forms back to Officer Chijioke. Good, he said, flipping through the pages. Now we need to take Chioma's photograph. They walked down another hallway to a small room with a blue backdrop. A camera sat on a tripod, and a grumpy-looking photographer adjusted his lens. Sit down, girl, the photographer said. Chioma sat on the stool and tried to smile, her lip quivered with nervousness. The flash went off, and the photographer grunted. Done. Back in Officer Chijioke's office, the man tapped his pen against his desk. Now we wait. I will take these papers to the regional director. Stay here. Chioma and her father sat in silence. As the minutes stretched into hours, the office grew quieter as people began leaving. The sun dripped below the horizon, painting the sky orange and pink. Chioma leaned her head on her father's shoulders. Papa, what if it doesn't work? Odinakachukwu stroked her hair gently. We must believe, Chioma. We've come too far to lose hope now. At long last, Officer Chijioke returned. His face was unreadable as he walked into the room, holding a small white booklet in his hand. Congratulations, Chioma, he said finally, a small smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Your emergency travel document has been approved. Chioma gasped and her father let out a deep sigh of relief. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chioma said, tears welling up in her eyes. Take care of this document, Chijioke said, handing it to her. It's not a passport, but it will allow you to board your flight. Odinakachukwu shook Chijioke's hand firmly. You've given my daughter hope again. Thank you, my friend. As they walked out of the immigration office, the cool night breeze brushed against Chioma's face. The stars above twinkled brightly as if celebrating their small victory. Back home, Adaeze and Amara were waiting. They sat on the couch, their faces still holding traces of sluggishness. But when they saw Chioma holding the emergency travel document, their expressions changed. You managed to get one, Adaeze stammered. Odinakachukwu's voice was calm but firm. You thought you could destroy my daughter's dreams, your cruelty, but you failed. Amara avoided Chioma's gaze, her arms crossed tightly across her chest. This is not over, Odinakachukwu continued. When Chioma and I return from our trip, we will have a serious conversation about this family, and things will change. Adaeze said nothing. For the first time, her eyes showed fear. The next morning, Chioma and her father stood at the Enugu International Airport. The sun was rising, casting a warm glow over the runway. Chioma clutched her travel document tightly as they approached the boarding gates. Are you ready, Chioma? Her father asked with a gentle smile. Yes, Papa, she said, her eyes shining with excitement and relief. As they walked onto the plane, Chioma looked out of the window and saw the city of Enugu growing smaller and smaller as they ascended into the sky. Thank you, Papa, she whispered, for fighting for me. Odinakachukwu squeezed her hand. Chioma, no one should have the power to destroy your dreams. Always remember that. The clouds stretched endlessly before them, and the morning sun painted the sky gold. Chioma closed her eyes and smiled. She was finally on her way to Zanzibar, a dream that almost didn't come true, but was saved by her father's love and determination. When faced with betrayals and obstacles, persistence, courage, and love can overcome even the greatest challenges. Never let anyone dim your light or destroy your dreams. Thanks for watching. Sharing is caring. Go ahead and share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell. See you in my next video. Bye!